Okay, so as a team, I feel like this is something that's super relevant to us right now. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a for rent by owner in this scenario, but I think it's one of the most applicable things. And this is the scenario where a for rent by owner seller agrees to consider selling their property off market, but now what? Right? We've all gone and done the for rent by owner calls where you're talking to somebody and you say, well, if somebody was to offer make an offer to you, whether it was on and off market and it made financial sense, would you be interested in looking at it? We get the occasional, yeah, I would. And I feel like some people are like, okay, great, I got an off market. And now what? And just literally do nothing with it. And this is a training to help kind of give you some factual next steps in the process to bring these to closing. Now, I have used this process with a bunch of different cold calls. So this does not need to be for rent by owner only. I literally successfully took this approach and got a listing cold calling off of Airbnb or VRBO ads for properties that didn't have many bookings and just trying to pick up listings that way. So this is an applicable thing in multiple avenues, right? So this is kind of a beginner's guide. How do we take it step to step? So let's set the stage on how the original call goes. Seller seems engaged, right? We've reached out to them. We've talked to them about, gotten to know what their scenario is. They seem somewhat open to selling. They're not open to listing the property, but hey, they'll entertain an offer, right? You had a chat with them. You guys seem to see eye to eye, and you discussed the possibility of selling. Now, during this process, you may or may not have said you have either a buyer that's looking for something exactly like this property. You might have said, my team has access to buyers. You might have been ambiguous. We have buyers. You could have said something like, hey, we can source buyers. Doesn't really matter. How we set up the next process, it is going to matter what your original messaging is. But truly, none of it is actually a lie. So if you said, hey, I have a buyer looking in this neighborhood, you might not be able to think exactly who that person is right off the top of your head. But I'll tell you what, with our database of over 200,000 people, I guarantee somebody is, right? There's not a lie. We do have somebody. We also have 180 plus agents on the team. That somewhere in there, we have a buyer looking for them. But it doesn't always need to be that pitch, right? So just to set the stage, we've expressed, hey, we have somebody that might be interested in the property. They're interested in potentially receiving an offer. They don't want to list on the open market. And because if they did say, yeah, I would be interested in taking it to the open market, and that's where the conversation was going, we wouldn't be messing around with any of this. We would immediately be pivoting into, all right, do you have time for a listing pitch? This is the roundabout way to get to the listing pitch. This is not the direct shortcut. Oh, you want to sell? Oh, you'd be interested in going on the open market? Cool. Are you available for Saturday? I can come tell you about the services that I offer to bring it to open market. So, no, I don't really want to list it. Yada, yada. My friend said this. Okay. Well, I have some interested buyers. What do we do next? The first and most important part of this process is meet them at the property, but meet them at the property to preview it for your clients. That is a key touch right there. It's not, hey, can I meet you at the property to go tell you all about all my great listing services? Because that's going to spook them right off the bat. It's like, hey, I thought you said that you had a buyer that was interested in my neighborhood in this price range. Why the hell are you coming to me and telling me all about all the marketing you do and all this kind of stuff? No, hey, seller, I'd like to meet you and preview it for my buyers. So you go to the property and you start to focus on creating the relationship and building trust, and then obviously previewing the house. See what we're working with. Keep in mind that, descriptions, I can't describe to my buyers, hey, I got a great place on 123 Main Street down in Pacific Grove, listed for $1 million. You want to buy it? They're going to be like, I don't know anything about this, right? Maybe 2 or 3 pictures. That's not going to be a very effective thing. So I got to say, if they're describing me their home, I need to come, and do you have a time in the next few days where I can come preview the property and see if it fits my client needs? I always like to vet homes before sharing them. So we establish a meet date, and remember, this is not a listing pitch. We're going to the property to preview it for buyers. Now, at the meeting, we let the seller show you around, right? That's a very natural thing for any listing pitch, but it's a super natural thing for any time an owner is involved in the sales process. They feel like they have to show you around and do every little, oh, this bathroom is this, we upgraded this, we replaced this. They'll take you around and show you everything that's cool about the home. Keep in mind, especially if it's front by owner, they've been showing this property to renters as well. So they're really rehearsed. And if you follow that train and let them guide you through their rental showing, it's going to feel a lot more comfortable for them, right? So don't pivot, follow them around, focus on building the rapport, and have them tell you about all the pros of the property. Now, it's not a bad idea during this process to make little comments like, oh wow, this view is so beautiful. Man, my drone photography, my Twilight drone photography would be look so good on this property. Oh man, this is such a cool one. This would look so good in my listing video package. This house is incredible. It's not saying, hey, I want to do that, but just dropping that little seed to develop in their mind. Hey, I am a listing agent. I do some really cool stuff. And man, if I had my hands on this, I could really do something great with it. It's not a bad idea to just drop those little nibbles along the way. Now, we're not pushing to be their listing agent super fast, right? That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to get there to establish rapport and to preview the house first. If we move too fast, we're going to spook them. Many of you have probably heard me say if you go on a first date, you probably aren't discussing how many kids you're planning on having on that first date. The same thing could be said. Do not push on this meeting about becoming their listing agent and bringing it to the open market unless they express to you that that's something they're looking to do. Now, you feel free to share information about the specific buyer that you might have in mind. Oh, yeah, the people I was looking for, they're coming from the Bay Area, the young family relocating down here, planning on moving the next 3 to 6 months. But if you don't have that specific person in mind, feel free to share about your team. Yeah, we have several buyers. My team is comprised of over 180 agents. We have only over 200,000 people in our database. Yeah, we have several people that could be very, very interested in this home. You can also drop little things like, my team is responsible for over 250 million by the time I made this in sales a year. I think we're on pace for close to a half a billion or 450 or something like that in sales as of this year. Those little Easter egg drops never hurt. So at the meeting, we're not pushing to be their listing agent still. Now, to wrap the meeting, we're going to be asking some permissions to take some informal marketing, and we're also going to be setting the rules and setting expectations on how this process is going to lay out during this, right? So, again, this is another way to hint at all your awesome marketing package. Hey, Seller Joe. Now, do you mind if I take a video so I can actually share the property with my clients? Keep in mind, this isn't the bells and whistles marketing that I pull out for all my listings where I'm bringing in a photographer from out of town, videographer, air, drone, 3D Matterports, virtual tours, etc. This is just going to be me walking around so I can kind of embody and show them what this house is like. It's a really an informal way for me to send it around off market. Are you comfortable with that? Cool. So now we have permission to take the video and say, hey, not if I share this with my client, obviously I'm going to be sharing this with my client, but are you okay with me sharing it with a couple of the agents on my team as well that might also have buyers that are interested in this one? Cool. If you really want to escalate it, do you mind if I incorporate this into some of my social media posting? I have a ton of interested buyers that are always very interested in checking my social media, looking for cool little tidbits like this. Would you mind if I shared it with them on my social media? Right? Those are the three different permission levels. We're setting the rules of this off-market hunt. Hey, can I take a video? Can I share it with my buyers? Can I share it with my teammates? And can I disperse it through social media, right? Doesn't matter what they say, if whatever their comfort level is. If they only share it to your buyers, cool. Now I know I'm not going to offend them. But if they give me the green light to share it with other agents on my team, you know what that means? That means that I would be their listing agent and the other agent would be the buyer's agent. We're kind of informally setting the rules and the expectations how this is going to link up. So even if you're not the one bringing in the buyer, you're established as their listing agent. Again, none of this is formal. This is still just previewing it for clients. Taking the informal marketing. We're going to first and foremost want about 3 to 5 photos of the key features of the home. If the kitchen is beautiful, shoot a kitchen. Probably an exterior shot that's kind of impressive. Maybe a picture of the big backyard or great living room. 3 to 5 photos that are going to be quick and easy to disperse that kind of tell the story of the house itself. We're going to want to take a video walkthrough of the property, and we're going to want to take our time on that. We're going to try not to shake the camera, right? You can use a gimbal, but honestly, if you just keep your arm locked straight, it usually does pretty well. We keep it stable. When we enter into any room, we want to slowly pan. So we're going to be sitting there like this, panning across the room in the videos, right? And making sure it's not too wobbly. A couple little keynotes here. And if you're going to text message a video, it should be under 2 minutes in order for it to send correctly. If you're going to go over 2 minutes, that's fine. What I do now is I usually shoot for a 5 to 7 minute video. I just upload it to the website vimeo.com. And Vimeo is great because then you could actually put all of your descriptors about the property in the property description and just text that link to people. So it's like, boom, I built it all. I have my informal marketing package with all my information in a video walkthrough right here on Vimeo. I have the link for it. Share that link, disperse it with as many people that want to see it. We're all good. That's how I typically do these off markets. I really like it. Take your time. You're not worried about rushing through the home to get under 2 minutes so you can text it. And it presents so much better to other people instead of sending 2 or 3 chopped up 2 minute videos to have one long cohesive video of a full walkthrough. Now, let's say you take that video and you mess up somewhere or something's choppy. Don't worry. You can send it to marketing and they'll clean it up for you. One really key thing to talk about when you're doing these videos, because 100% of the time when I take these videos, without a doubt, the seller in question is kind of lurking around the corner in the house, listening to what you say about the home because they don't really know you. They think you're shooting a video for your buyer. Keep in mind, right? Because you're there to preview it for your buyer. So if you're using really positive and descriptive and flattering verbiage about the property, oh my God, look at this beautiful living room. It's so wide open concept into this kitchen that's absolutely gorgeous, amazing sunlight. The seller's hearing that too, guys. The seller's getting excited. The seller is hearing about how excited you are about this home, the passion you bring to the sales process. You're not creating a hostile working relationship with them saying, "Oh man, this kitchen is dated. It looks like shit." It's no, you're being really cool, right? You're being positive and you're aligning yourself with that seller. So just take a note. They're listening to you sell in that video. You're auditioning how well you'll sell this in the future. So now we have the video, and let's close out this initial meeting where we're previewing it for our clients. You want to thank them for the opportunity. Joe, thank you for having me over to the home today. I know you didn't really have to do this. I really always appreciate coming out and seeing these awesome properties. I am super excited to show this one to my clients. I think this home is absolutely gorgeous. It far exceeded my expectations, and I already thought it was great. Yada, yada, yada. Being really excited and really positive and creating that really professional relationship. But then we want to set expectations on how we are going to be working for them. I'm going to send this to my buyers today. I'm also, per our conversation, going to share it with some of my teammates that also might have buyers that might be interested in this property. I'm going to follow up with you and give you feedback tomorrow around tomorrow afternoon to tell you what everybody thinks so far. And I'll tell you what, Joe, I think my clients are going to be super interested in seeing this one. This checks a lot of their boxes. How should I coordinate that first showing with you? Typically, I would suggest that you not be here present at the showing. People don't really feel comfortable when they're previewing properties. So, do you mind if I meet you and pick up the keys before our first showing so I can show the property? Is that something you'd be comfortable with? What did we do just there? We set expectations. Number one, hey, I'm going to go out and start doing the marketing for you. Two, I've set expectations when they can expect to hear back from me. So I'm not being that annoying agent that always follows up. I'm following through with my promises. And then C, I'm showing confidence in my ability to get that buyer to the property. I'm coming in I'm a killer. I know I'm a badass. I'm going to bring a buyer here. And they hear that and they're like, oh man, this person's already thinking 3 steps ahead. They're confident in their ability to sell this house. This is fantastic. We've also established the rules. You're not going to be there when I show this property. How am I going to get access and how am I going to get the keys for you? Whether it's, hey, I'm going to meet you and pick up the keys. I can swing by your house and grab the keys. Can I set up a lockbox? You already have a lockbox set up, etc. Boom. We've established now the rules verbally on how I'm going to be able to sell this property off market. Now, we're going to gather all the appropriate information before we disperse this thing. We have our video in place. We need to look up the square footage, the bedroom and bathroom count, the location, and a couple key attributes to it, what it's close to, proximity to major things, etc. We're going to obviously have a price point. Even if it's a vague price point, low twos is still a price point, but we need something to give us some features, updated when, yada yada yada, ocean views, etc. Condition, really well done, newly renovated, or fixer status, what have you. We just need a condition in there. And we need to package all of this information in a concise package. Because what our objective is when we're going to be dispersing these off markets is I want to give everything so clean and precise that, let's say I share this marketing package with Kyle in a text message, a link to a video with a little bullet pointed descriptors. I don't want Kyle to have to reinvent the wheel. I want Kyle to be able to copy that, paste it, and send it to his clients. Literally copy and paste on the thing, copy send, right? So we really need to make sure our packaging is well put together with all the pertinent information in there. Now we have to disperse this goddamn thing as hard as we can and reach as far and wide as the seller will allow. We're going to push it to all of our clients. We're going to push it to all of our teammates, obviously, that we're all familiar with. We're going to reach out to agents that sell a lot in that area. This is one of the most underutilized things. I don't see anyone doing this. But let's say I just went and found a home in the beach tract let's say I was new to the area, have no idea what's going on. I went and found an off market in downtown XYZ, and I have no idea about the location or who the agents are in town. I can go on the MLS. I can look up the last 2 years history of sales history in that location using the map feature on MLS. And I can click around on some of the recent solds and see who some of the common players are in the neighborhood. It's like, oh, looks like Joe Smith and then Jane Doe and then Fred Jones all do a lot of trades in this neighborhood. They've each done 2, 3, 4 trades in this neighborhood in the last 2, 3 years. Why don't I reach out to each one of them? Hey, Fred. Hey, Jim. Hey, Jane. I have a potential off market listing in this area. Here's the brief description because I'm not going to give you an address yet. It's a 2-story, 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,400 square foot, around 1.4. Do you have anyone for it? All of a sudden, I've presented them with an off market opportunity where I would be the listing agent as well, right? And we've already gotten permission to disperse this information. You go to obviously put it on Real Scout, obviously use social media. But keep in mind, guys, if we have an off market, we need to share that opportunity everywhere. Secrets don't sell houses. And also, this is a fantastic way to pick up additional buyers by telling everybody about the off market opportunities you have. That is a huge swing in getting buyers to come work with you if you have off markets. Now, pivoting back on like how we're actually dispersing this, how are we dealing with the seller in this situation? This is all caps. Constantly be communicating with the seller. Constantly, listen to this, guys. Even though we don't have a listing agreement, constantly be communicating with the seller. I mean, every day, every other day at minimum. These guys just welcomed you into their house. They let you have an opportunity to go do a bunch of marketing. They just met you. They're allowing you to go disperse it to your clients. Give them updates. Hey, seller, I shared my home with 7 buyers today. Hey, seller, I've alerted 6 other agents on my team today. Hey, seller, one of my clients seems like they might be interested but aren't able to make it to town for the next 3 weeks. Hey, seller, someone on my team might have a buyer that's interested. Even if it's simply, hey, seller, I don't have any updates on the people that I shared it with yet. That is still an update. We want to be forming that relationship, building trust, teaching them to work with us as their real estate person, right? We're training them that we're their realtor. Because I'm acting like their realtor already, even though I'm not, but I'm training them that I'm their realtor. And so I want to communicate with them regularly during this process and build trust. They won't know how hard you're working on this unless you tell them either, right? Show them you're hustling, show them you're communicating. Keep in mind, you're auditioning to get a listing right here. Not only are you trying to sell this property, you're auditioning for a listing. If you have buyers that are interested in offering, obviously show them the home, and you're able to do the wrap a listing agreement, and it only pertains to a singular offer. So what do I mean by that? I've done specific individual trainings on this, but hypothetically, if a seller isn't ready to commit to list their property on the open market for 6 months or something like that, we can send them an offer with an attached listing agreement. And the listing agreement is only specifically attached to that offer. So I met seller at 123 Main Street. I did the informal preview for my clients. My clients actually liked it. We went and viewed the property. My clients wanted to buy it. I put together an offer. I attach a listing agreement to it, and I present it to the offer and say, "Hey, seller, here's a offer, you know, 1 million, 20% down, 30-day contingency, yada, 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 with an attached listing agreement where I will represent you, both you and the buyer. This listing agreement is only for this particular offer. If we don't go into escrow, it's null and void. If the buyer falls out, it's null and void. You no longer have any commitment to me whatsoever. It's for 5%. I'll see both sides of the transaction from start to finish. And you have three options. You're able to accept, deny, or counter, right? If we accept, we'll proceed with the sale. If we deny, hey, nothing lost. And if we counter, we put the ball back in their court to see if they'll accept, deny, or counter. But what we're doing here is we're locking and securing ourselves into getting paid on both sides, right? Because that's pertinent. Yes, you don't want to just bring the buyer and not get paid on the selling side. You're pulling off both sides of this transaction. You should be compensated for it. How do you wrap a listing agreement? You submit a normal offer for those team agents and not seal agents. For seal agents, you'll have to do this on your own. But how do you wrap a listing agreement? You submit a normal offer on the type form with a message to operations that you're going to be wrapping an offer with a listing agreement. Once the offer is executed, so it's completely signed by you and the buyers, you send that with a listing agreement to the team to fill out, and they'll wrap it and put it together. And then once both docs are complete, then we'll DocuSign it and send it out to the sellers. So all of them are combined. They're not able to peel off the purchase agreement and then go find themselves another listing agent. It doesn't work like that. We've attached both, and one is contingent upon the other. Then we're going to engage the seller and obviously tell them, hey, you can either accept, deny, or counter. Those are the three standard options, right? So this is what we do if we had a buyer that was interested in the property. You come in, you make sure you solidify yourself to get paid on both sides of that. If you don't have buyers interested in the property, here is the next step. Don't let it wait in limbo and do nothing. Remember, we've met them at the property, we've created a relationship, we have some informal marketing, we've gotten their permission, we've set the rules and engaged the rules. We went and marketed their property for them. We communicated with them every day for the last 7 to 10 days. Like, we've shown our value. We've done an amazing job. Now what's next? Okay, so I'm going to reach out to the seller and I'm going to tell him, no, if no one nibbles on this and no one's really been taking advantage of this, say, seller, I'm happy to keep working on this property off market. In fact, I'm confident that eventually it'll work. But typically, the best way to get the highest and best price in a home is listing it on the active market. Are you free to meet and discuss what that might look like? Now we're taking our push towards having that formal meeting about doing a formal listing. We've done 10 days of foreplay. Now make our move, right? We can actually talk about, how many kids we're going to have, or you might want in America, because it's not our first date. We've literally been dating for however many months, right? Like this is time where we start to get serious and let's start setting the stage to getting a listing appointment in place, right? So obviously, if you have questions on that, we'll see a different training for a listing agent training. But final thoughts to kind of just pass along to you. Getting someone to agree, like, yeah, I would entertain an offer. I would entertain an offer if it made financial sense, is great. But it's step one of like 15 in the process before you get paid. So don't stop just because you've had someone agree, yeah, I would entertain an offer. Because the job is just getting started at that point, it's not getting finished. Get off market sellers is a great way to get leverage into getting more buyers. So don't keep it a secret. Not every seller wants to list on the open market, and that's okay. If you go and that final pitch, hey, it's been 7 to 10 days and we don't have any nibbles. Are you interested in meeting? And they say no, that's fine. Keep doing what you're doing, but that's about as far as you'll get so far. Sure, you took your shot, you didn't hit it, but it's okay. You can still remain in that space. Don't be afraid to offer to list the property and attempt to rent it at the same time, especially if it's a FRBO meeting. So if they're like, well, I thought I would sell it, but really, when you called me, I was planning on renting. I think I'll just rent it. I was like, say something. Well, why don't we try both at the same time? Obviously, you have an interest in selling the property. If I was to do the marketing for it, bring it to the active market, what's the worst that can happen? We can offer to rent it and sell it at the same time. If you get a great applicant that you really want to rent to, cancel the listing agreement and you get it rented. No harm, no foul. If you get an offer on the property or it's too low or you decide not to sell it, no harm, no foul. Don't sign, nothing changes for you. Just to say no. You can deny the offer. But why not open ourselves up to as many options as we possibly can? And one thing I really like to harp on and kind of train my sellers, listing a property for sale is not a commitment to sell. It's an invitation to receive offers, right? Because putting it on the market is just saying, hey, what's going to come in? If I list it at $1 million, doesn't mean I have to sell it for 800 because that's the only thing that's offering. It's just listing it on the home says, hey, what's going to come to me? Oh, I got one for 800 listed at $1 million. Hell no. Hey, I got one at 99999 and I was listed at $1 million. No, I don't even need to have to take that. Oh, I got one at $1,500,000 and it's a pretty clean offer. Sure, I'd take that. Let's do it. It's an invitation. You don't have to take it. There's no commitment there. Any questions on any of this? I know I just went on full blown like speak mode, but I really wanted to break it down step by step.
I've got a quick question. At what point even if it's an off market, do you need a listing agreement just for compliance purposes? Or so even if you're haven't officially submitted an offer, off market marketing can basically be done without a listing agreement?
So I'm able to sell property. Hey, I heard that this seller is interested in accepting offers. You're able to do that kind of thing all the time. That's not. I wouldn't necessarily worry about listing agreement in this scenario until you're at the offer point, right? Of hey, I have an offer. It's time to get secured. Or B, I'm getting ready to bring it to the open market. We have kind of loosely discussed anything, but until you're really entering that agency relationship and we're ready to commit exclusively to each other, you're able to go and advertise. It's basically a non-exclusive verbal agreement at that point until it's been established. But I would not get overly stuck on that as of right now. Now, obviously, don't go on social media and say, "Hey, look at my new listing 123 Main Street." That's not what I'm telling you to do. That I'm saying, "Hey, new opportunity popping up in Salinas, under $1 million. Let me know if you're interested in a picture of the living room." That's fine. No one's going to pop you for that. So there's a very different thing. We're not marketing for them. We're talking about an opportunity.
I would say too, Stephen, if you're like overly concerned about it, maybe just make sure you get the permission to market in writing over text message or email. And if you got it verbally, just send a follow-up email or text message confirming the verbal discussion.
Right.
But I agree with Kevin. Like it's not like you're saying,
Right.
hey, look at 123 Main Street. You're saying, hey,
Okay.
potential opportunity available here.
All right. Thanks.
Kevin, kind of on that similar vein, how do I make sure I don't get cut out of the deal?
Okay. Well, you become the vital linchpin in the middle and the one that keeps all the information between the other ones, right? So we're establishing that I'm the one that's going to be showing the property without them, where they're not exchanging information. I know how to reach the seller. I know how to reach the buyer. I have the offer. And none of that is exchanged unless a commitment is made to me either way. That offer, once I have the buyer rep agreement signed with the offer, I'm that they're locked in. And then, hey, I'm not giving you that offer until I have the signed listing or until it's attached to a listing agreement in a form of PDF attached to a listing agreement with me listed as the listing agent on the offer as well. So the offer is going to read me as the listing agent. It's going to have me as the buyer's agent. The offer is going to be attached to a listing agreement and then pretty much present it as, hey, we have three options: accept, deny, and counter. Now, I know that there is a lot of fear about getting cut out of deals. And the reality is it does happen. The reality also is it doesn't happen nearly as much as people try to make it seem like it happens. I really feel like getting cut out of deals might happen 1 out of every 20 deals. The reality is most people are freaking lazy and are going to take the least path of resistance to get there. And if you're the best pony to get them to the finish line, they'll ride you. So, I mean, sure, there are some people out there that'll try to say, like, oh, Kevin told me about 123 Main Street. Let me go knock on the door and find this person and see. Like, sure. Is it possible that your buyer might try to cut you out and try to go do the deal themselves? At that point, all the more power to them. They were going to be an absolute nightmare if they're cutting you out over your commission, and you probably didn't want to work with them anyway.
At what point do you think it would be good to like put them on Real Scout or anything like that to like
As soon as you meet with them at the property, they let you take some marketing photos and or a marketing video, and they let you go. And they've established, yeah, I'm interested in receiving offers. And you say, hey, can I share it with my teammates? And they say, yeah. Put that damn thing on Real Scout. Why?
and then would you send them like would you set them up as a seller on Real Scout to like send them market alerts and then the
I am legitimately
evaluation?
I am putting everyone I encounter on Real Scout. I love Real Scout so far. It's probably my favorite tool, short follow up boss that we've been introduced to. So I'm a huge believer in Real Scout. Now, with that said, I don't let Real Scout take the place of what I'm doing. I'm still sending things through of my own. I'm still sending things individually. I'm still actively doing the reach out myself as well, but I absolutely do it in addition. So yeah, I'm a huge believer in Real Scout in addition to what you're naturally doing. I'm I love it as a tool. Love it.
Maybe like a similar situation, but slightly different. That I hear common for you to give as a hypothetical is what we're talking about here is more so like outbound reach outs. What about a scenario where it's more like an inbound, like an IP lead, and we even sign this person up for property management, but we're having trouble renting it because it's over market value? Maybe not by a ton, but maybe by that 5 to 10% that just is not allowing us to get it rented. How would you bring sales back into the conversation?
I mean, that's a simple one. Number one, I whenever I came from an IP perspective, I like to disassociate myself between the property management company, even though I'm an owner of it. Like it's them and I am your IP, they are CNC. So I come in with that mindset. And I'll come in more like, hey, it looks like CNC is really struggling to get this one filled. It might be a price problem. I mean, it looks here like you're renting that you need. I know we needed to get 4,500. Are you open to going less on that? No, need 4,500 in order for me to make my money. I'm losing money every month, even at 4,500. Well, have you considered offloading it? Why are we holding on to this? You realize that this 4,500 is going to be a problem, not if we is continue to be a problem, even if we rent it this time and CNC rents it this time and it stays rented for 2 years, it's going to be a problem next time it comes up vacant. And what happens if the fridge goes out? You're going to be in the red. What happens when you need to replace the roof on this thing? Have you considered selling it? Well, keep in mind, if we list it on the open market, it's just an invitation to receive offers. I can list it for rent and list it for sale at the same time. And you just take whatever offers you like and turn down whatever you don't, And I would really proposition it back in that reflection, saying, well, why the hell isn't it renting? It's probably not renting because it's overpriced, and or it's not renting because it needs a shitload of money, then money they don't have to put into it. And then you could say something like, well, hey, would you ever entertain off market offers? I got a bunch of cash buyers that would be very interested in this property, and they could alleviate all the headache, alleviate all the financial burden, and they could really bring this back up to its glory days. Is that something you'd be open to? And it's not going to work for everybody in every situation, but take your shot. You miss every shot you don't take. And this is, I mean, I always say it's a relationship game. It's a relationship game and it's a numbers game. Don't be afraid to fail. You're gonna fail. Just shoot enough times to where you win too.
I have a question.
Okay, what's up?
Okay. So, what if you are working with somebody who absolutely does not want you to be the listing agent? They do not want to go to market. Her brother-in-law, for example, I have a client right now. Her brother-in-law would be the listing agent, and she doesn't want. So she's like, Deborah, what you can do for me? What can you do for me off market? I'm all yours. And she's been communicating with me daily. I put her on Real Scout, and it's the multifamily property in West LA.
If I'm understanding this correctly, because I'm very familiar, I might be putting my own hurt ego into this because I've experienced this many times. Oh, I have another person that I want to list, but I'd be happily pay you a buyer's agent commission if you brought someone to the table. My response is, yeah, at that point, I'm not incentivized because everybody else on the open market will as well. But I certainly I'll keep you in the back of my mind, and I'll typically forget their number even exists, and say like, yeah, I'm not going to be bringing people here. That's the job of the listing agent. But if one of my clients is interested in coming here, we certainly will. But yeah, you don't work for them. If they're going to pay someone else as a listing agent with just bringing you buyer's agent commission, cool. I can go on MLS and find literally hundreds of those.
Yeah.
You bring nothing. You are provide me no value. Yeah, screw that.
But she's not saying she's going to list it. She wants to list it off market. And she already let me go take photos of it, and it's a multifamily property, and it is in a prime location, but she wants to list off market. That's just her own.
List off market or list with her brother?
No, list off market. She said that if she does list on market, it's going to be with her brother-in-law, who already kind of screwed her over, which is why she took it was on market and she took it off.
Got it. So with that one, you take pictures, you disperse it to all the active investors you have. If you're getting paid for both sides,
Yeah.
you are incentivized to do extra work. So in that scenario, you might want to go look up and see if you could find the LLCs that or individuals that own all the similar multifamilies in the area and reach out to them. Hey, are you aware of this one? Hey, I have an opportunity for you. If you're getting paid on both sides, you can act as the listing agent and say, hey, if I brought this one to you off market, would this be something you'd be interested in? Like you can go, it's not hard to find investors, guys. But what I can say, making assumptions, if it's been on the market already and it didn't sell, they probably were asking for way too much. Investors don't make decisions off countertops or floors or anything like that. Investors are making decisions off financials. Oh, you're asking $2 million and it rents for $2,000 a month? No, this is burning money. It's going to burn money if it's on market or off market. So if it's overpriced, I wouldn't waste too much time. And I also, at that rate too, I might hit her back with like, hey, talk to me when you really get serious about selling, because this multifamily should be trading at a 6 cap, and you had it listed at a 4 cap. You're listing at 2 million, but realistically, based on the market value around the area and the cap rates of the multifamilies that trade around here, and the market value is really around 1.5. I'm quite confident I could sell this property within 30 days in the aftermarket if you priced it appropriately. Are you trying to sell the property, or are you hoping to get lucky? Because those are different things. And that's the saying I like to say to people a lot too. Are we trying to sell it, or are we hoping to get lucky? Because lightning might strike, you might win the lottery, but let's not count on it as a plan A.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I don't know if everyone else's weather is amazing it is in Carmel right now, but if so, everyone go enjoy this beautiful sunny day out there today. It's a good one. Later, guys.